Is Elle Woods autistic? Legally Blonde 2 is one of my all-time favourite films, and I've been adoring the new prequel series Elle on Prime in Ireland. While I've seen the films 1 and 2 several times, and I saw the musical in London, it's only now watching Elle that I'm like, oh my God, is she autistic? Might she be autistic? Might that be why, even though we don't have much in common, I've always adored the character so much? What they've done is they've put her in the 90s in high school in the midst of grunge, moving from Bel-Air in California to Seattle. It's genius. Um, what do you think? Might she be autistic? You're listening to Souls to Soul Care for Trauma and AuDHD with Eve Menezes Cunningham. I'm your host, and each Tuesday, or whenever you choose to watch or listen, you'll get a new episode to help you learn how to love and care for all your parts, from the soles of your feet to your soul. You can visit soulstosoul.ie, that's SOLES, as in the soles of the feet, to TO, and then soul, SOUL.ie /podcast for older episodes, full transcripts, links, free resources, other ways in which we might work together, including becoming an adventurer, for a whole array of online programs for you to dive deep within yourself. Let me know if you have any questions, and I hope you love episode 123. Um, I don't know. I'm going to check. 122. And I hope you like this episode. I hope you enjoy this episode. I hope you love this episode. So, working with the Feel Love Heal framework again, for the feel bit, I'm just noticing what I think. I'm no way qualified to diagnose fictional characters or anyone, but so much of what I've learned about my own autism and working with others, all the additional training and reading and listening and everything, the special interest it's become over the last few years. Some of the features that I feel might be signs that Elle Woods is autistic includes her feeling her big emotions, her having big emotions, and her allowing herself to feel it, to express them, to take to her bed, to eat chocolates, and they move through her. They then lead to action. And I'm realizing that she's a fictional character. I'm also realizing that she is a woman with a lot of privilege in many different ways: thin privilege, beauty privilege, wealth privilege, white privilege, cis privilege, hetero privilege, intelligence privilege, beauty privilege, all sorts of ways in which her movement through the world is easier than many. And her parents are very supportive of her. They don't always understand her, but they haven't apparently shamed her for having big emotions. So it's just a delight to see a woman, a young woman, a teenager in this case, on the screen, allowing herself to not suppress, to have a meltdown, to feel and then move on. Because if we all let ourselves feel how we're feeling, if we all design our lives to work with ourselves, to work with our big feelings, we too can move on, rather than getting stuck, getting caught up in masking, getting exhausted. And yeah, I just identified this as one of the many ways in which she might be autistic. Her questioning whether the mosh pit is sanitary, and she gets in the end, but the sensory differences that she exhibits in many instances with no apology. And again, this is, I think, why I love the character so much. She's never excusing her difference. She loves pink. She commits to pink. She continues to remain true to herself. And it's that unapologetic being herself. She has that non-hierarchical approach when it comes to talking to people in positions of power. She talks to the principal as if he's an equal. She has the great pattern recognition when it comes to identifying the key they need. I'm hoping that I am not giving away spoilers. I think I'm doing this in a way where you'll identify these when you get to that part if you haven't already. But what I'm saying will make no sense if you haven't yet seen it, and it's not going to ruin anything for you. So, other special interests she has include fashion, the law, Judge Judy in Elle, Donna, her friend's mother, and her friend, the first friend she makes in Seattle, Justice. In Legally Blonde 2, she quit when she realised that her law firm didn't share her care for something that was obviously wrong. And once she brought it to their attention, in this case, animal testing on for cosmetics, and it has a very silly premise in terms of her wanting to invite her dog's mother to her wedding. But it's also, if you think about it, yes, she's a fictional character. She worked really hard for that law degree at Harvard. She gets the job of her dreams. And then when she realizes that there's a lack of integrity, a lack of ethics, she quits. That's no small feat. She's a stickler for the rules. She can't bring herself to do a pie in the face. She seems to struggle a bit with social cues, but she wouldn't call it social awkwardness because she had her friends in Bel-Air. She has her sorority in the film. She has enough love behind her, but you think about her going into the canteen or to the parties on the back foot and her ways of getting through that. I'm just curious. Like I say, I'm not a psychiatrist, I'm not a psychologist, but there are lots of ways in which she might be. As we move to the love part of the framework, her love for Bruiser. Bruiser's a little puppy in Elle, and she had an impassioned plea for him in Legally Blonde 2. And she is hoping to keep a hypothetical rat safe in Elle at a certain point. I won't say any more to not give anything away, but she recognizes that humans are the most evolved species in the room they're in at the time. And she points out that as that, like more powerful species, the responsibility to care for the more vulnerable species. And it's just gorgeous. I mentioned her supportive parents, her sorority, helping her, and they don't always understand her justice sensitivity and her special interests, but she's able to be herself. She does seem to, I mean, anyone would have rejection sensitivity with some of the situations she's in, but she's tough. And I think her recognition of herself as part of nature, no better or worse than a rat or a dog, all of us connected, all of us having responsibility to care for each other. That's how I'm shoehorning this into the love section of the Feel, Love, Heal framework for this episode. But really, it's about her acceptance of herself, her love for herself and for others. But that support that she's had means she's able to offer that love and support to so many others. And she is just an amazing friend and person to have in the other fictional characters' lives. The heal part, the turning what hurts your heart into action, she does this. We all need to co-regulate. We all heal in community, and she's very isolated at first, but she finds her footing in Seattle like she did at Harvard Law School by being herself, by being caring, by organizing for Donna, for fun, and by recognizing the importance of community and doing what's right, and even a bit of a haphazard community that she creates. It's a gorgeous seeming group, and I'm hoping that that as you listen, as you watch, you'll think about your own life, your own fish out of water situations, and maybe if you love Legally Blonde and all things Legally Blonde as much as I do, you'll ask yourself, what would Elle Woods do? And let her inspire you to be more of who you are and recognize going with the glimmers, like pink fashion. It makes her so happy. It makes her empowered and powerful. What is it for you? How can you be more true to yourself? What do you think? Is Elle Woods autistic? Before you go, please take a moment to ground the episode by just pausing and scanning your parts, all your parts, from the soles of your feet to your soul. So you may want to keep your eyes open, you may want to close them, but planting your feet firmly on the ground, lengthening through the spine if that feels comfortable for you, letting yourself feel held by the chair or whatever it is you're sitting or lying or standing on, and taking just a moment to scan your whole self, your whole body, your whole energy field, and ask yourself what you're going to do for yourself right now. It might be as a result of listening to the episode, it might be something else, it might be a nap, it might be something to eat, it might be some kind of movement, but let yourself ground, let yourself get into the habit of connecting with your inner wisdom and notice what you need and give yourself what you need. Thanks for listening to this episode. If you haven't already and would like to, please like, subscribe, comment, engage across the platforms wherever you may be accessing this. And you can also email me, eve@soulstosoul.ie. Thank you for listening. I look forward to sharing more next week.